gold, ancient secrets still untold. Shiny whispers, dreams to thee, Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free, in the shadows destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find, in the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the quays that had a end, rising from the dust and bound. Dreams to thee, Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free, in the shadows destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find, in the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the quays that had a end, rising from the dust and bound. Beneath twin suns on Arrakis land, firmament whispers in the wind so grand. Melange flows through every hand. Shai Hulud rules the desert sand. Paul's visions, good times hold. He who sees where futures unfold. Blue within blue eyes so bold. Destinies in spice foretold. Shifting sands are fate to find, in the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the queens that had a end, rising from the dust and back. Cutting through the sky, Harkonnens blood and spice to lie. What is worth more than gold? Ancient secrets still untold.
Welcome back. Welcome back to episode 3 post-show response to episode 3 Dune Prophecy. This is Arrakis Central. I actually happy for those of you who show up tonight to hear my thoughts on this. I got some juicy tidbit thoughts and extra lore that's not in the episode because it's all flashbacks mostly this episode. For those of you that are interested in knowing more. Let's get a few people in here first before I start going through this episode. I can't let this go 2 hours like last week. So we gotta kick this off right away. All right, hey. Gonna give it a couple minutes here, get some folks in here. I don't know. It usually takes a couple minutes. Usually takes like 30 minutes for people to finally see that I'm live. Like last night, it was like no one was in there, and as soon as I was like, "Hey, I'm about to end the stream," then people started showing up, and I was like, "Oh man." So I'm trying to give it a few minutes so people to start seeing the notifications and stuff. Maybe I should drop this on Twitter. No, it's not Twitter. That is not Twitter. Welcome to the show, though. We're about to get into this episode. Let me throw this out here to the Dune. How come I can't paste? Okay, there. There it is. Alrighty, so I'm posting that up. I need to have there's gotta be an app where you could just like put one message and it sends it off to all your stuff. There's gotta be an app like that, right? Or something. You probably gotta pay. I can't believe I had to block someone in the Discord chat already. Lee Williams, in the Dune Awakening? Dune Awakening Discord? People get pretty wild sometimes. Oh, I don't have my X up, do I? Let me know what happened with that. Some people just arguing on there. Atreides, yeah, Von Max is, dude, we got people in, dude. We got people in. Nice, nice. I haven't started yet. Wait, I was... I thought the Nazim guy was... I thought he was an okay guy. I don't even know. I don't track everybody's. I'm not in there all day. I'm only in there. I pop in and out. I'm probably in there more than I should be, but he was on the stream, wasn't he? Wasn't he in here too? I don't even know what you guys are arguing about, so I don't know. Negative about the show? Was he negative about the show? I mean, I'm gonna get into that right now of some thoughts about the show that I'm. So after tonight's episode, I'm liking it even more. But people might not know what the heck's going on. Yeah, I mean, dude, you think that Discord's bad? Go to that Dune, the biggest Dune group on Facebook. Now that's bad. You don't think toxicity? That's real toxic. The Discord's nothing compared to that. I'm in that Dune group. It's all negative. Anything anybody posts, you get crapped on. It's all crap fest in that Dune main Dune group on Facebook. It's like the biggest one. No, arguing, he's just always got a negative attitude towards everything, like he's in a modern day school. Oh, yeah. He's just, yeah. Well, I don't like a lot of stuff myself. I don't like the show. I actually like. I'm surprised I like it. I thought I was not gonna like it after all the negative reviews that people were giving it going into it. Even like people I watch on YouTube, or even like people I kind of trust, they're like, they were like not liking it. Even people who supposedly are Dune fans. Von Max, are you in that group? Von Max, are you part of that? Are you in that Facebook group? Are you from that? Is that how you found me? I know I've talked to you before. Who did I friend? Dude, I'm sorry if I remember if I friended people. I'm just all over the place. I know I've talked to you guys on the. So Von Max, I know I've talked to you on here. Lee Williams, I don't know if I've seen you on here on my stream, but Von Max has been on here. Yeah, dude. So Von Max knows what I'm talking about. That Facebook group is freaking toxic. I mean, not like threats and things, but like it's pretty bad. Like anything anybody posts on there just gets crapped on by somebody that just. It's like, do people even have, like, sometimes I start to wonder, do people watch anything? Because if you just hate everything, like, I'm pretty vocal about I don't like Disney Star Wars. I don't like the new Marvel stuff either. And then I really dislike, except for um, Picard season 3 was awesome. So that new Star Trek stuff, the Kurtzman Trek stuff, I don't really like much of that. I liked season 1 of Strange New Worlds, and then season 2 just kind of got kind of lame. They started off good. Season 1 of Strange New World. I liked it, and then season 2 came out, and then I was like, I didn't like it as much. But Picard season 3. If you guys are Star Trek fans and you didn't really like the new stuff, but you like old Next Generation, watch Picard season 3. Picard season 3 was like basically like, where did these people come from? How did they make this show out of nowhere? Dude, because Picard season 1 and 2 are god awful. In my opinion. But in my opinion, I didn't like them. But season 3 was like, it was even better than some of the movies, the Next Generation movies. So, yeah, so that's a side note there on that. Yeah, it did get crazy. But I mean, so like Star Wars, I kind of liked, remember, I liked Force Awakens when it first came out. It was okay. Oh, no, I haven't even started. I was waiting for people to get Kato's in. Yeah, I haven't started talking about the episode yet. Nobody go anywhere because I haven't started talking about episode 3 yet. We were just talking in the chat here. Yeah, but that Dune, I mean, yeah, Dune folks are like kind of like any other franchise. But see, I have a theory about this, guys. I don't want people to take offense of it or anything. I think that there's like kind of two categories at this point, really two major categories for Dune fans. So there's the Frank Herbert loyalists or whatever, purists that only like his 6 books and then nothing else happened. And a lot of them refer to the Dune Encyclopedia for their lore, which I have it. I printed, not the dude. Have you ever looked up Dune, the original, like the actual Dune Encyclopedias? They're like $500, $600. But I got a paperback kind of one. I have that. But then there's that group of people. That group of people is usually not into other sci-fi, I've noticed. Like for Warhammer 40K or stuff like that. Battlestar Galacticas and all the other nerdy stuff. And then you have the people that like all of it, and they like the Brian Herbert stuff, is what I kind of fall into, where I love Dune, but then I also well, I don't love it more, but I like it. Of course, I like the first Dune book the most, but I like the Brian Herbert stuff because I was a 40K guy, a Star Trek guy, 40K guy. I love all that other stuff, BattleTech. So I see a lot of those people that like that stuff too, and they're gamers. They like the Brian Herbert stuff more. So it's kind of two categories, like. You have just kind of novel people that read the Dune books and don't really do any sci-fi gaming stuff. And then there's people that like all the gaming and other stuff too, and 40K and BattleTech, and they like the Brian Herbert stuff. It's weird. Oh, season 3 of Stranger Things or Strange New Worlds? I'm talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Yeah, Von Max, we're talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, not Stranger Things. But I like Stranger Things. Stranger Things, I like all of them. I like all 4 seasons of that. People hated season 3, and I liked it. Because it was like the Thing. Remember the Thing, that blob creature? Yeah, I like season 3 of Stranger Things. I've liked season 2 is my least favorite. That's the one I won't really go back and watch it, but I'll watch 1, 3, and 4. Season 4 is awesome. Let's see here. Lee Williams, so about the whole one who has born twice. Yeah. So that's, I'm still wondering. We didn't get any more information about Desmond this episode. Someone's mother died in childbirth, is born in blood, and Layla is about to be reborn in spice. Oh, so you're thinking she's gonna be. So maybe she's the Arafel. Maybe the machine mind is gonna affect her mind. Well, I don't want to get into that yet. I don't want to get into that just yet. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I think there are people who recognize that almost all sci-fi holds common themes, and since Herbert was so long ago, basically everything is connected to Dune somehow. Yeah, I mean that's everything's a lot of all sci-fi really copies. Well, I mean even Dune kind of copy. I mean you can go back farther with some stuff, but science fiction is pretty much modern day sci-fi is all based off kind of Dune, 2001, Space Odyssey stuff. And then the other people that are Dune fanatics especially aren't willing to concede that the common themes are there to discuss. Yeah. Oh well, I mean that's the themes are fine. I don't care about the theme. I care about them, but I don't. The themes are get worked up about them. I get it. Basically his whole thing was Paul Atreides was supposed to be like JFK and charismatic leaders gets us in this wars and resources and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all basically what that's all about. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this, guys. We got 6 people. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We got ourselves Dune episode 3, Dune Prophecy episode 3, and Sisterhood Above All, the title of this episode. So this episode starts off right where episode 2 ended, right? So we all saw that. Valia's coming out with Theodosia. Is it Theodosia or Theodosa? Theodosia, and she's basically walking her out, and they're gonna go on a little mission. So basically, this entire episode is majority backstory, and it's parts of Sisterhood of Dune and parts of Mentats of Dune, the books. Okay, so if you guys have read those, if you read those books, you know what I'm talking about. But they've kind of condensed it. So we'll get to the points when those flashbacks kick. I can't play the video. I can only fast forward through screenshots of this. So basically, we left off. Desmond has some sort of power. We don't know exactly what yet. People think he's Gola, the Laxu nanotech guy. Some people think he got water or life spice. I even heard another one that some people think he might be Vorian Atreides that had his facelift, because he says he's gonna, at the end of Navigators of Dune, the 3rd book in that trilogy, he's basically flees. He fakes his own death. They think he's dead, and then he says he's gonna hide out and get plastic surgery essentially, and just go get away from everybody, fly into somewhere. It doesn't ever say what happened to him, but that's a 3rd one that I've heard. So they're going along. So it immediately flashes back to Lankavale, which is, yes, that's the original Harkonnen homeworld. Well, really, their original homeworld's Lucis Secundus, but that's a long story. But yes, and it is an inhospitable, kind of icy, watery planet where they hunt these whales. That's true. That's straight out of the book. Hopefully people understood that there was flashbacks. Because I was like, what are they going to complain about next? They don't get it. But, man, it's loading slow. So this is kind of true. This part is straight. These scenes are straight from Sisterhood of Dune. They're condensed for time, so they don't exactly happen exactly like the book. Where she's sitting around the table with her family. Basically, she wants to send her brother and herself. She wanted in Griffin, which is straight out of the book. Griffin, they want to go and clear their name up because they hear Vorian Atreides, which is another callback to the books. Vorian Atreides does show back up to Emperor Salvador. So at this time in the story, hopefully you guys can hear me. At this time in the story, in the flashback, it's Emperor Salvador. That's the emperor. Jovico's uncle. Okay, so he's the emperor. I don't know if they're gonna go into that far, but some of the timing is a little wrong in this episode as far as the book goes, because I mean, of course, they have to condense it. So it didn't really bug me that much, and some of the things that happen. But So basically, this does happen in the book, where it's Valia and Griffin. They kind of start hatching a plan to send him to the Landsrad and be representative, and she's already decided she's going to the Sisterhood already in this scene, but she doesn't do it in the show. But just know that she's already in the Sisterhood when they're at Rosek, which that's my biggest gripe with this episode. They didn't even show Rosek correctly. And I'll get to that point in a minute. So the omission of the planet Rosek here. But yeah, but that's one thing or another. So they go. She basically she has a little scene with her brother Griffin. She talks about how she used the voice on him. I can't remember if that part exactly was in the book. I remember her saving him when he was drowning. I think that is in the book, actually. That might be right from the book. That she used the voice on him to get him to swim. That part I don't remember. So, right, she's going to send them. They say, oh, we're going to go to Landsrad. We're going to change things. And then, boom, the next scene. Hopefully we can get to that still shot. He's dead, right? He comes back dead. So this part doesn't happen exactly like this in the book. The early jumps from Vale planet to following Tula out to where the Atreides were in the woods. That's on Caladan. Was kind of disjointed. Not sure if it was jumping back and forth to the monastery or just me. So it was jumping back. It's a flashback. So we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, because they showed this part. They showed Lankavale, but they didn't show that they're on. That's Caladan. So they didn't say it, right? That was, I don't know why they didn't do that for the audiences. I knew what it was. Yeah, so those scenes with Tula at the hunting party and the lodge and all that out in the hunting area, that's Caladan. That's on planet Caladan. And I'll talk more about that in a minute and give back. That's the part that might confuse people. I can fill in the info on that. I'll give you guys all the juicy details on that one. That's more important than this, actually. Kind of. So, yes, Griffin is killed. Right? And then his body is sent back to, like, from the Arrakis. He's killed on Arrakis. It doesn't tell you none of that. So he's killed. So this is wrong, but I'm just going to go with kind of what the show is showing. The show, normally in this point in the book, this is the end of Sisterhood of Dune. Valia's already been training at the Sisterhood, while Griffin has been off doing his things, tracking down Vorian Atreides. Even though, okay, so for this is the show, they didn't have her. She's still in Lankavale. Like, they didn't show Gordon leaving Lankavale. It just jumped around to Gordon? I mean Griffin. I think you mean Griffin. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that was dumb, right? It should have showed a little something of him flying, getting on a plane. Or it should have just showed him. They should have did a scene, her, like, maybe, like, wishing him farewell as he gets on a transport, flies off, and then he comes back dead. Right? He should have been in a box, not in a cart like this. That's another dumb thing. He should have been in a coffin box, like shrink wrapped. Because he was paid. It's expensive to send the body somewhere. Because Vorian Atreides sent his body back, paid for the whole thing, and left a note with him. They didn't do any of that in the show, but okay, it is what it is. He found Vorian Atreides essentially. This to sum it up real quickly for you guys, to not confuse everyone. Valia, she's not there yet, but she's supposed to have been already at the Sisterhood training. Okay, I got that, but she's not in the show. But then Griffin had gone out to hunt down Vorian Atreides to get revenge or confront him, right? He tracks him to Arrakis. Vorian Atreides had to flee a second family he started on the planet Kepler because he found out that, he basically made a promise to the Emperor that if he helped his family, kind of, gave him security with a little bit of a flagship over that planet, he would just disappear, leave the Emperor alone. Because the Emperor's jealous of Vorian because he can come in there and take over power if he wanted to. He's the hero of the Butlerian Jihad. But so Vorian, but they want revenge on the Harkonnens. Want revenge on the Atreides because Vorian Atreides banished Abelard Harkonnen to this planet, Lankavale, which that's part's true. They talk about that in the show, but they think he was a hero, so it's kind of right from their perspective. but he wasn't. He actually did try to sabotage the final assault fleet of Corran, Abelard Harkonnen. He gets stopped by Vorian because they're supposed to be allies, and he banishes him after the battle. Because when she's talking about he stopped a great genocide, what she's talking about there, the AI in the Battle of Corran put these containers floating in orbit. It's called a bridge. I can't remember the name of it. They create this giant container like sphere around the planet. All these containers full of human slaves. And then Vorian Atreides is like, we're gonna fire through them no matter what the cost is. We have to defeat the thinking machines. Abelard Harkonnen sabotages the fire control syncing computers on the flagship to try and stop it, because he just like, no, we can't kill the people. That's what she's talking about, and that's of course why he gets banished later, because he kind of did betray the fleet. It all ended up not mattering. There's more going on in those books than that, but there's more stuff going on. Erasmus, which is the AI kind of, I've talked about it in other episodes. He was kind of a AI, doctor, psycho evil guy, but he basically kind of started loving this human kid, which is the first Mentat. That's a side issue. We're not going to worry about that. I've already talked about that before. We'll finish with the episode because I can't keep it going that long. Yeah, so we'll jump to that. So yes, Griffin gets killed on Arrakis, not by Vorian though. They blame Vorian, but he's killed by two of Vorian's siblings, so to speak, that were held in stasis because if you don't know, if you're just now tuning in, Atreides, the first Atreides, Vorian Atreides, has life extension. His dad was a Psymech Titan general working for the AI. He was basically a big cyborg. He kept some of his genetic material, made a human son, which was Vorian Atreides. He had life extension. He was working for the AI essentially in the beginning. Atreides was. Realizes they're evil, switches sides, and all that kind of thing in the books. He had a brother and sister he didn't realize, and another Atreides brother and sister that he made, that the Agamemnon made, his dad. They wake up when these Butlerians stumble upon an old AI base. They wake them up, and then this is in Sisterhood of Dune. They wake up and he already realized that they had issues with Vorian not being loyal to them or something like that. So he already basically implanted in their brains like they're just merciless killers. So they wake up and start killing everybody, and then they want to hunt Vorian down. They find him on Arrakis. Griffin had tracked him to Arrakis at the same time. Griffin gets kidnapped. So Vorian's working with the Fremen. The Fremen find out, hey, this guy's looking for you, Vorian, but you're our friend now. They kidnap him. They're interrogating him in the desert. Vorian is like, basically, I didn't, betray your great grandfather, but he did these things. But then I'm gonna make amends. Griffin starts liking Vorian. He starts realizing, oh, he's not bad. It's just bad circumstances. And then guess what happens? Those two freaking jerks show up. They track him down and they start killing a bunch of Fremen. But the Fremen are too strong and they fight him back. And then there's a whole chase through the desert. Griffin gets killed by the freaking Vorian's brother and sister. And then Vorian ends up running through the desert, and then tricks him he throws a thumper or something down, tricks him, and they get eaten by a worm. But it's too late. Griffin had already freaking been killed. He basically shrink wraps Griffin, puts a note, sends it with them to the planet, and then what happens is when the family sees the note, they think it's an insult that he sent. They just think he murdered them. So that's why they just went with that here in the show, the basis of it's true. They thought he murdered him. Yeah, that was kind of dumb though. They should have showed him fly away and then come back or something. They should have shown him. I don't know what they could have did. But yeah, that's basically, he was murdered by. He was technically murdered by Atreides, but the two evil ones. Yeah, let's go to like they didn't show gore. Okay, so the Great Harkonnen betrayal is just they didn't want to kill human shields. Yeah, that's what it is. They were using human shields, the AI, around the planet of Corran. Yep, exactly. And then Vorian was said, "Too late. We have to destroy the machines once for all, no matter the cost." It's the final stronghold, like the Battle of Corrin. That's it. They've wiped out the AI everywhere except that last final planet. So I don't think they're gonna do all that, dude. I don't know. We'll see. I'm surprised they've told us this much, so you never know. Yeah. So moving forward, that then Valia said she's gonna go to the Sisterhood, and then fast forward back to Valia again and the planet. She tells the sisters to go back and make sure that their part ruling, dukes don't frickin' mess with anything. Her plans, and she'll handle the issues with Carinos. So we got that. Fast forward, we saw that Tula does. Now, did it hint that's her daughter? Did that mother say it was her mother, or was she just saying Mother Tula? I didn't catch that. I have to go watch that again. I was kind of thinking that was her daughter, but because the way she's so protective over her. I knew she was gonna have her hidden down there. Okay, let's fast forward to her. So we kind of saw Valia's flashback, and then we're gonna see Tula's flashback on. So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's pretty close. They just condensed it, so it's pretty close to those books, the condensed version. And I think they did a kind of a good job, honestly, on all the stuff I'm just telling you guys. That's just one little tidbit of subplot of Sisterhood of Dune. So this happens in Mentats of Dune. So this happens as well, but it's a little bit different. In this one, I mean, that was, maybe they'll show it. The Griffin getting killed, because it didn't. Nobody knows what hell happened to him. Did he just die there on the planet? I knew what happened because I told you guys everything. But okay, so this is the mission that Valia sends Tula on to kill Ori, or do you want to pronounce it? Ori Atreides. And what happens is, in the book, they actually get married. She kills him on... She does kill him, and she kills him on his wedding day. There's another brother, Willem. They didn't mention him. It didn't mention if that kid was Willem. Didn't say his name. The kid that runs off. Or that kid can't be... This is 30 years later, so that can't be Kieran. It's not Kieran, so it has to be Willem. Okay. Because the kid, if that's the case, that kid would be, like, that kid's probably, what, in the show, 13? 12, 13, something like that? So he'd be 40-something. So Kieran is definitely in his early 20s, or whatever, so that's not him. That's definitely Willem, I think. So anyways, this does happen similarly. She does murder Ore as the mission Valia is sent around, basically. That's true. This happens right out of the book, except she was already at the Sisterhood. So they've jumbled a couple timelines there, but no matter. It doesn't really matter. It does kind of matter, but it doesn't. To me, it matters, but they're condensing it. It wasn't at a hunting party thing. It was at their actual wedding night that she kills. And Vorian Atreides is here. He's at the wedding. Vorian Atreides comes back. They didn't show him here, so she tries to kill him too, but he defends against it. She tries to kill Vorian Atreides in his room, so they didn't show any of that. I don't even know if they're gonna show that, but yeah. So I bet people are confused on this episode. I bet 100%. What's going on? They're jumping. I do like that though. They just kind of make you have to think and figure it out. Oh, it's a flashback. Yeah. For me, I'm following this stuff like it's butter, dude. So that's why I'm feeling that this show was made for a guy like me that really likes those books and has them almost memorized. Not memorized, but just the baselines of them memorized. So I'm just like, kudos to the show. Thank you, finally, HBO, for making a show that's very close to the books. Well, but there's gonna be a lot of people that hate those books, so they're probably gonna hate the show. Oh, and by the way, she doesn't use poison on him to kill him in the book. She slits his throat and paints blood all over the wall like a bloody message. Yeah. So, and do you guys want me to tell you a spoiler, which I think is gonna happen? What possibly who Kieran might be? No, I don't think this episode is better than the second episode. Still better than the first one, though. This was better than the first episode. This is a lot of book stuff in here, guys. This episode, Lumberdan overall, and Lumberdan, that was you. So this wasn't as exciting as episode 2, but it was definitely full of all the book lore from the books. And I was very happy about. I was like, wow, they're really going into the books on this. I mean, even though they're kind of condensing it, this is very close to the books, guys. So basically, this is really Sisterhood and Mentats of Dune. So if you don't know, there's 3 books in this kind of this trilogy of after the Butlerian trilogy. Like there's Sisterhood of Dune, Mentats of Dune, and then Navigators of Dune. So there's 3 books. They're pretty long books too. This murder scene happens in Mentats, I believe. Yeah, so that all happens. She lets this kid live, which I think that's Willem Atreides. I think. If they do it by the book, because he lives. But she doesn't kill the entire family, though, in the book. She has one target. She takes the best target she can get, and she targets Ori, the guy she kills. And so they got that right. It's the same guy she kills. She's going to marry her, all kind of cool things. So they're putting a lot of unreliable narrative in place on just telling us how awful the deceit embedded. Wait, let's see here. And I understood. Oh, Von Mox thought they did a good job following the books. Oh, so you read those books too, right? They are putting a lot of unreliable narrative in place of just telling us how awful the deceit embedded in the Bene Gesserit is. Well, they're giving you backstory on Tula, really. Tula has basically she didn't want. She actually fell in love with Ore in the book. She was in love with him, and she didn't want to kill him. And she doesn't kill the entire family with the poison in the book either. She just kills him, maybe one other guy. But she kills for sure the guy, Ore. And then tries to kill Vorian. Because Vorian's there at the wedding. She fails at that, and then she escapes. And she goes to another planet called... Shoot, I'm forgetting the planet she goes to. She tries to hide out on another planet. Doesn't go back to the Sisterhood right away because she's guilty and because she loved the guy and she killed him anyways. And then Vorian and Willem, the brother Atreides, Willem Atreides, they go to hunt her down, and he ends up freaking getting wounded or something there, pretty badly, trying to fight and kill Tula. Because there was a bunch of Sisterhood bodyguards there kind of following her, and nobody knew that they were there. That's a side story though. But the show's not really doing that route. The show's just kind of condensing it, which is fine because we only got an hour. So yeah, the whole thing with this poison and all this, none of this happens in the book on Caladan. So this is Caladan. That was a pretty sad scene when they got to kill the horse, though. I got to admit, pretty good. Yeah, this is definitely better than episode 1. Episode 1 was so kind of junky compared to these next two, right, guys? Let me fast forward to. Oh yeah, so this part bugged me. When it flashes back to Valia it showed Dorothea was not a lead instructor over Valia. They were kind of like sisterhoods and training together. Yeah, see the part that's not doing a good job of showing Lee Williams the horse scene was that Tula's already a trained sister at this point in the book, so she can fight her butt off, and so is Valia. They're not really showing their skills. Valia can kick. She's the best fighter there. I think they're leaving that as a secret till this might be like at the end when she fights. I think they're gonna show her just slicing some throats and stuff, because Valia Harkonnen is one of the better fighters around. And then her sister's almost second to her. So Tula's can kick ass too. They both of them can freaking destroy people in hand-to-hand combat. So I don't know if they're gonna show any of that. Doesn't seem like they will. I don't know. Maybe they will. Let's see here. So this scene right here. This is supposed to. So when they're in training, Dorothea, they were on Rosek when Dorothea and her were together in the early days. They're in a different planet. They're just condensing it. They're doing it all on Wallach 9, but it didn't happen this way at all. When they're doing their acolyte initiates. So she did all that on Rosek with Dorothea. Dorothea takes the poison. So they kind of condensed that scene too coming up. When she wants to make her a in this whole scene where she flies in, that's all weird. So I'm assuming she was coming from Rosek is what they're trying to imply there. Maybe she's coming from the Imperium. I don't know where Mother Raquella was coming from. I don't remember that really. That doesn't happen in the book. They're kind of condensing it. What happens is Salvador finds out they have a computer on Rosek, and then he goes there, confronts them, kills a couple sisters, breaks them up. Dorothea stays loyalist to the Emperor and all that kind of stuff. That faction of Bene Gesserit Sisterhood members go to Lucius Secundus. The rest of them with Valia go to Wallach 9 and restart the Sisterhood. Yeah, they fly. That was a cool scene when she lands right there. I got 9 people in here, guys. I'm over here blabbing about Dune. So this part is supposed to... Yeah, it is what it is. It's supposed to happen on Rosek, but it doesn't. It happens on... And then they kind of melding some things and condensing some things, which is kind of okay, I guess, for the show. Where's the scene where we're about to take the... She wants her to become a sister, but then she's hesitant, right? Okay, so they have a party there at the Atreides hunting lodge. Almost gonna fast forward to the part where she freaking... So, a big spoiler, which I don't know if it's a spoiler. Do you guys want me to tell you? Write in the comments if you want me to tell you a big spoiler. It could be nothing, though. It might not come true, I don't know, in the show. You guys want me to tell you a spoiler? I feel like the computer has been rolled into the machine Tula uses at the end of the... Wait, I feel like that computer has been rolled into the machine Tula uses. Well, it's just a little apparatus. That whole room down there is an AI thinking computer. They've been hiding that for a long time. So it's not really a spoiler anymore. They're using the thinking machine down there. It's an AI thinking machine technology that they're using to track all of the DNA and the breeding. which is like basically a death sentence if you get caught with that. They hid it. They hid that machine on Rosek. They tore it apart. They tore all the components of it apart. At one point, they hid it in the jungle. The Imperium never found it, so there was no evidence. They get kind of left alone, like I was telling you. Tula splits the Wallach 9 with Rakella, restarts the Sisterhood. Dorothea goes to the Seleucus Secundus kind of be basically loyal to the Emperor, Salvador and all them. So the possible spoiler is that Tula got knocked up by Ore before she killed him, because that's what happens in the book. So she's carrying a Atreides child. Yep. So I don't know if they're gonna do that. So are they basically gonna hint that but the thing is, the time doesn't match up, so it's not that Lila girl. That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do, though. I was thinking that her son, if they even go this route, guys, I don't know if they're gonna do this in the show. I was thinking that Kieran Atreides is Tula's son, but then that doesn't match up either because it's 30 years, so like he would be 30 years old. So that also doesn't match up. So maybe they're not going to do it. She kept the child, and then it was a whole standoff on the last book, Navigators of Dune. There's a standoff between Vorian Atreides, Willem Atreides, Tula, and Valia on Corrin. So, because basically Vorian essentially gets tired of being chased by these women. I'm not going to say the mean word. And he sets up a little kind of a trap on Corrin, the final battle of the AI. So, but it's like junkers living there now. Like it's like a junk planet now with junkers. It's kind of like the junk planet on Soldier with Kurt Russell. Well, it's not a generation. It's 30 years later. So the scene where she kills this guy, it's just about roughly 30 years before the present time of the show. It even says it in the episode 1. It's 30 years later. But yeah. So because they set the rule, the show. So they said 30 years later. Yeah, it's 30 years later. So that's not. Is that a generation? What's a generation? How many years is a generation? Is that 100 years? I'm so stupid. I know there's different versions. Oh, 25 years. So you're right. You know, I was thinking that too, Thomas Anomalous. See, they put her in the spice tank. And is she gonna turn into a navigator? I'll be mad if they do that, because the navigators are already there. They already know about that. Yes, Lee Williams, you're right. I was wrong. I just didn't know. It says 20 to 25 years, 15 to 20 years span is a generation. Yeah, so if it's we don't know how old Kieran really is, so it could be her son. That's what I'm thinking it is. But she has it never says what happens to her baby in the books, because it fast forward straight from Navigators to Dune. The next book is House Atreides, which is like young Baron Harkonnen in the beginning of that book. Well, I haven't even begun to get into those books. So the where the Baron's all ripped, Baron Harkonnen is like young, and he's ripped with red hair. He's not fat yet. But that's a cool book too. But we're not getting into that. That's way too far ahead. Well, she made the voice. The origins of the voice is straight from the book. Valia Harkonnen invented it herself. She had. That's the one thing they're actually getting pretty correct. Is the voice. She was the first one to have the voice. Is exactly like, and she used it sparingly tested it on people. She tested it on sisters a little bit differently, like in the show, but she did test it on sisters like that. She actually used it on Dorothea exactly like in this first episode and killed her the exact same way, like from the book. And it was a little bit different locations and timing, but it was pretty much the same. But they kind of made up for it in this episode. I'll get to it in a second. Yeah, so she lets this guy go. And then she sees the Seleucus bull up there, which is like a kind of like a. I thought that was like an omen, like telling her like, "Hey, Atreides is not, you aren't getting rid of us." That's what I thought. One thing I can't. Oh, Thomas Anomalous. One thing I can't take if this is supposed to be a one-off, or well they expand with other shows, even not Dune Prophecy. Well, I don't know what there's. I mean, they have freaking essentially. There's no books, so it's a 10,000 year jump. So after, well, there's like short stories and stuff in there, and there's like a lot of stuff from the encyclopedia. But essentially, after Navigators of Dune, which is 30 years before the show, which is the flashbacks in the show, then you have boom the whole time span. You can make anything you want, really. They can put anything in those 10,000 years before they get to basically House of Harkonnen and all that stuff. Baron Harkonnen days. They have really free reign to put whatever in there they want. I mean, that's probably why they did this. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, Raquella didn't have a voice. Raquella's the first Reverend Mother to take a poison, too. I don't think they really... Maybe they mentioned that, but they didn't really talk about that. She's the first one to become a Reverend Mother to unlock the genetic memories. There wasn't many of them at this point. So the voice is what impressed Raquella when she talks about evolution. Yeah, that's why she kind of brought her into the... She was really trying to unite the group, the factions, which that's kind of true. So they finally did make up for that. Let's cut to that little scene right here, guys. She shows her the computer. We saw that, but we don't see it. She tests the Mother Raquella shows Valia the computer, the breeding computer. They don't show us yet. And then she tests the voice on that. Then there's her friends. And then it's Kasha right there, right? She gets killed later. And then she basically brings him into... Says, okay, so this is a scene that's kind of condensed from the books, too. This is true. She did want them to work together. But that happens when she kills Dorothea. So the kind of... When Mother Raquel is dying on her deathbed... That's when she tells them to kind of unite. It's just the three of them in there. They kind of condensed it a little bit, and it also they condensed like 3 books worth of stuff in this one scene. I was very impressed, actually. They condense a whole subplot of Dorothea and Valia taking the poison, and Dorothea does take the poison and Valia doesn't. Right? They did. I don't know, man. I think. This show is made for a guy like me that's likes those books. So when that showrunner says that stuff in her interviews, she's like, "This is for the Dune fans," and I'm like, "What she's talking about? She's talking about the sisterhood of Dune book fans, really." And it's like for guys like me that like those books, because they're really. This is like, this scene right here to me was like the best scene of this episode, where it's like I was like, "Wow, they're putting like 3 books worth of stuff into one little scene." I was actually kind of impressed by it. So yes, she does want them to team up, break that rift. Yes, Dorothea and Valia. There's a scene where they're supposed to take the poison together, right? Not exactly like this, but there's that scene in the book. Valia does chicken out in the book. Dorothea takes it, and then Valia eventually has to go back to Lankavale. So it's very similar, but just very condensed. So pretty cool stuff. If old ass wise, all knowing Raquel was impressed, then it stands to reason Valia truly is the origin of the voice. No, well, yeah, she. I mean, it tells you in the book she was. She made the voice first. It even tells you in the show. She's like, I've been working on this. Yeah, so pretty cool scene. So in the book, she fakes taking it more actually than this chicken's out, and she's pretending to be a Reverend Mother for a little bit. Eventually, she does take it on Lakeville. So let's fast forward through that, guys. Boom, boom, boom. She tells her to go back, get rid of your problems. She sees Tula. Says she did that mission, which is backwards. Tula was already at the Sisterhood when she does the mission, but okay, it's a side issue. But yes, Tula does end up going to the Sisterhood. She's there. You've seen her already, anyways. She doesn't like it. She didn't like having to kill the Atreides. She actually loved him. It hints that in the show, and it tells you directly in the book. She did that all for her sister. And then, let's see here. I don't remember a scene of her using the voice on her, like, mom. I don't really remember any of this stuff going on. I don't remember the family really having arguments like this in the book, but I think they just added it for drama. Yeah, they're not like pissed at her like this, I don't think, in the book necessarily. They're too like worried about survival, dude, to worry about that kind of stuff. And a lot they kind of what happens is Vorian Atreides disguises himself as like a journalist, a kind of guy, like an imperial kind of curator guy. He shows back up here. He gives them all this money behind the scenes because Vorian Atreides feels bad what he did to the Harkonnens, right? He actually gives them the money to give them the rise back to their power. So basically, the Harkonnens' rise to being a great big house was funded by Atreides secretly. So that's in the books. It's not going to probably be in the show, but that's pretty funny. Vorian did it. He paid off all their debts and all their stuff secretly because he felt bad. I wonder if they're going to show Vorian, man. This is the second episode they've mentioned him. No, I think they've mentioned him in all. Have they mentioned him in all 3 episodes? They mentioned him in part 1. They didn't mention him in part 2, did they? This is like at least the second time they mentioned his name, right? So that's why another theory I'm thinking, guys, is maybe. So Vorian has age extension, so he doesn't age, and then he got a facelift after the end of Navigators of Dune. So maybe it's Desmond, and he knows his way around Arrakis already because he does it in the books. So maybe he's Desmond. I don't know. Oh, and another thing that I'm wondering about with that leads me to think possibly it's Vorian in disguise is the only person who's ever fought Valia's voice was Vorian Atreides. And then in that last episode, Desmond fights it. So then I was like, oh man, I could be totally wrong. Is it Vorian? I know Vorian probably means nothing to you guys unless you read the books, but he's the savior of humanity essentially. So let's see here. He's like the George Washington of the Machine Wars essentially. Uncle H is in a glide chair on a prosperous planet where Valia says she's going where no one will expect her. That would mean the H family had got... Well, they have in the present time, they actually have a seat at the council. Well, they had it for a while now. Their other cousin, it's a totally side story. There's a short story which takes place about 20 years before this, when Javico first takes power. He's like 23, 24 years old. Yeah, you see that, Lee Williams? It's weird, right? It's fitting the boxes, but I could be way off, but I'm just spitballing here. Yeah, so the Harkonnen and the Atreides basically. So what happens is, at the end of Navigators of Doom, there's a big like flood tsunami disaster on Seleucus Secundus. Like a whole bunch of villages and cities get washed away, right? So it's Roderick, Javico's dad, emperor at the time, because leads like all these Landsrads. If Desmond is Vorian, then we likely won't see anyone from Ix. The thing with the Ix stuff is, well, I don't know. They put the Richazi in there, so maybe they will put Ix. I figured they would probably already have showed up in Ixian. It's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. But, I forgot what I was saying. But, Vorian, the constant Easter egg, Desmond and Constant from Oh, Desmond from Lost. He's talking about, yeah. Penny! Oh, my Penny! I love my Penny. I love my... I liked that show until the end. I didn't like the ending. One thing is guaranteed on this show, in this Dune prophecy, is the Emperor is probably going to get killed somehow. Assassinated. Because all of them always end up getting assassinated. And he probably knows that. He's probably like, will get killed eventually. So I would say the show ends with possibly Javico getting murdered. Just if we go on historical, no spoiler, I don't know anything. But just going off of how all the books always are. His dad was assassinated, was hinted at he was assassinated. The uncle was assassinated by Venport, Joseph Venport, the original owner of the Spice Navigator creation technology. Which they haven't he became a navigator, actually, though. That guy, to get away from getting executed. That's a whole different story, guys. Navigators of Doom is Dune is a wild book. His aunt killed her. So Javico's aunt, Anna, kills herself on the planet Denali because Erasmus, the thinking machine, freaking terrorist guy, he gets the Ixians make him a body, a Gola body, so to speak, and put the AI core in it, so he has a body now, a human body, but he's a robot still. She falls in love with the robot, but he's just like, she's pesky, she's annoying. This experiment is not going how I like it. She wants to like keep doing human lovemaking and things like that. She's a freak. And then eventually she kind of, they're about to get invaded, and they're about to get invaded by Joseph Venport's fleet, and the Imperium fleet shows up, but so he's like, shut up, woman, I gotta defend the planet. The robot does. And then she's like, oh, you hate me, and she runs off and walks. It's a poisonous gas planet, so she walks out of the airlock and melts. And then he starts like, where is she? I don't know where she is. Oh man, it hurts me. Oh wait, and he sees her walk out there on the camera. He runs out there, and then he melts too and dies. Yeah, so Javico's aunt fell in love with the AI. His bastard is named Constantine. He's definitely getting off at some point. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these people are going to end up dead. Yeah, a lot of these people are going to... I'm sure Thalia will end up dead. Usually, what happens is they knock somebody up, then they die. That way, the bloodlines keep going. So Kieran Atreides, if he's the only Atreides blood, like they're hinting at, he's gonna knock up the princess probably. I'm guessing. That's just a theory. I don't know. That's not because none of that's this show. The flashbacks are on the books, but the show is a brand new story. So I don't know anything what's gonna happen with that. Yeah. Yeah, just watched Thomas Anomalous. You said just watched the preview for episode 4. I'm half between Desmond being a between him and being a Gola. It's all Hatfields and McCoy's. Yeah. Man, you guys can hear my microphone, I think. My thing's messing up here. I think my voice canceling is acting cuckoo. Oh well. All right, so the Corn family will end up being mixed blood of both Harkonnen and House Atreides, so that betrayal of an Arrakis never actually means jack. Yeah, well, they're all related. We knew that from the movies too. Because even didn't it mention that we all know anything with Dune, blood doesn't mean anything to these people. That's for sure. Oh, so this scene right here, so this part, Valia does decide to take the poison. It's actually in a room though, not out in the snow. So she does take the poison back in Lankavale. So that's out of the book too. She does take Tula with her. I thought that was a kind of a cool scene. We did a quick little thing on that. Tula comes and, I mean, that's not in the book, but they just did it for the show. Tula comes and gets her and says, "I'm going with you." But she was technically already in the sisterhood, but like I've already said that. I'm not going to keep saying it. And then, so now they're going to go and then the big scene was they're going to say goodbye to the Lila, and then we all kind of knew what was going to happen. She's hiding her. Oh, Valia goes and shows up to the Landsrat office estate on Seleucus for the Harkonnens. She's probably gonna off that old guy, I bet, with the voice or something, because he's probably the one that's causing all the troubles. So she's gonna use the Harkonnens to basically probably stage an overthrow or something. I don't know what, because she's gonna use her cousin there to do that. And then we find out the big reveal that, boom, Tula put her into a spice revival chamber, which spice does extend life and help repair life. But like, what's his face was saying, this could be like a precursor. Is it going to turn into a navigator if it messes up? I don't know. That's something that happened. You know, if you put somebody in enough spice gas, it turns them into a navigator. That'd be funny, dude. If we come back to the next episode, she's all mutated in there, looking like a guild navigator. I'd be like, damn. I don't think they're gonna do that. We still haven't seen a guild navigator. I just want to see one. Come on, HBO, give me one spicing guild and they are the guild now at this point too. They become the actual official guild at the end of Navigators of Dune. Before that, they were Venport Holdings, was like basically a privatized. Thomas Anonymous, side question: have you thought if joining a live stream with Quinn's ideas, Nerd Cookies, or Danica I think you would really deep dive. Or yeah, but I'm not. I'm not in those. I don't have stature like of those guys. They don't know who I am. Those are big time Dune streamers. I'm just a nobody. If they invited me, I'd go on. I would definitely say yes, because that's the people you just listed. Those are like all the streamers that basically inspired me to start a Dune channel, and Secrets of Dune as well. And I even like Angry Joe is a big Dune guy. I like Angry Joe's. He likes the show. The other two guys on his show don't like it, but Angry Joe liked it. And he's kind of a Dune fan. That's probably why he likes it. You've only read the Frank Herbert boots. Do the Sisterhood what know to avoid abominations? Oh, so they didn't even go into any of that. They kind of already know some of that stuff from testing poisons on Rossack. There's like all these like children live in the jungle. They're mutated. And the Sisterhood was like basically their failed breeding experiments. And they're all like they basically would just like abandon these kids in the jungle, and they would form like this little like ghoulish camps and stuff out there in the jungle, and they'd be like, they're all messed up and look like ghoulies. We are the children of the jungle and all this. I can't remember what they're called, but the lost kids, or I can't remember what they called them, but they're the ones who figure out that you can use spice to save people or something. Raquella is out there with them. When she's younger, she's the one who finds out about something. I can't remember. That's from the other books. That's from the Butlerian Jihad books. Yeah, so she's hecka old. Mother Raquella. She's just life extension from Spice and being a Reverend Mother and stuff, controlling her body and stuff. Danica only likes Frank stuff. She doesn't like anything else. Yeah, she probably doesn't, play BattleTech and 40K. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe she does. Yeah, I've noticed that Von Max. I'm curious now to see what other kind of. See, I'm into massive capital ship battles. Is like my big thing. I love massive capital ship battles and games like that. So I used to play like the Battlefleet Gothic games. I love Star Citizen stuff. I'm big into like spaceship technology. That's my big, like, I love it. So I play like Elite Dangerous, those kind of games too. And what's another big capital ship? Oh, there used to be this game that was called Dreadnoughts. It got shut down last summer because it was like kind of like a World of Tanks kind of thing, but it was like big capital ships. And it was awesome. It was like World of Warships, but it was space fleet ships. And it was so badass, but nobody played it, and it got shut down. I wish they'd bring it back. That was my favorite game, dude. Homeworld games. I love Homeworld. Homeworld 3's supposedly they're trying to shut that down, support for it. It flopped because they went kind of wokey on it, the game. So everyone rejected it. Imagine that. You got to think, Homeworld players are guys my age and plus. So 40, 50-year-olds that played them since the 2000 when the first one came out. And then you put like wokey junk in the new one, and then it ruins it. Right? This is funny. Dude, it's got horrible reviews on Steam. Homeworld 3. I kind of overall don't mind it, but it's like basically so watered down version of the old games. We passed around the Frank books for guard duty and stuff. I had the most books in the pool for our whole platoon. None of us could put together enough of that story at once to understand it. I recommend people do the audiobooks, go on Audible. That's the only way I get these things knocked out, dude, on Audible. nowadays because I have a full-time job. There's no way I'm sitting there on like a Saturday reading a book in the corner. I got kids and wife and stuff. I have when I'm in the car is when I'm listening to these books, and at night when I go to sleep, or from walking, doing workouts or something, which I don't do much of. I gotta get back on the gym. Yeah, that's how I finish these books because I'm just sitting there reading the book. Nobody has time for that anymore. You do Audible, dude. Audible's got them all. Dune's so freaking good, man. The original Dune book, dude. Dune's like Dune puts the other Frank Herbert books to shame. I think. I mean, Messiah was fine, but not, dude, Messiah is nowhere near as good as the first Dune. So it's just like people are like, you know, I don't know. I like the Brian Herbert books because of all the fleet battles and spaceships and stuff. Because like I said, that's my thing. So we find out she's gonna be put in spice stasis, and that was the end. Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions? So so I gave episode 2 my verdict. Kind of my final verdict is I gave episode 1 a 6 out of 10. Then 2 was an 8. And then basically 8's unless we see. I gave this episode a 7.5. A little bit not quite as good as episode 2, but still pretty good and full of all the book lore. It just, we didn't get any more information about Desmond, right? So that was kind of a letdown. So I'm kind of hoping they kind of don't do any more flashback stuff because we kind of got that now. I hope going forward, the rest of this season, we got 3 episodes left. It's all the story. So they knocked out this backstory from what they wanted to tell us. I hope the rest of it now is kind of just boom. The rest of the story. So hopefully they're not going to do a whole lot more flashbacks, but okay, so where should you start with Brian Herbert books? If you're going to do them, you got to do Butlerian Jihad, which is the first book. There's 3. There's Butlerian Jihad, Machine Crusade, then Battle of Corin. That's the first 3. That's so when they're talking about 100 years, whatever before, the Machine Wars. That's what they're talking about in the show. Those books are that. And Raquella she's in those books, so you'll learn more about her. You'll learn all about Vorian Atreides, Xavier Harkonnen, Abelard Harkonnen. You're gonna learn about Serena Butler, the Butlerians. Raina Butler. They talked about her in the show. She was the sister. I think she was a sister or cousin. I can't remember. All that's in those books. They even talked about the Fremen. You see the first Fremen worm ride in the first book, Butlerian Jihad. You see the first Salim worm rider. The very first worm gets ridden by Fremen. They're not Fremen yet, and then all that's in those books. They're awesome. That's why I said I don't think people hate them because they're not quite as medievally like Dune is. It's kind of very more like what's the word I'm looking for? The first Dune is very like it's like more medievally, like more kind of. There's not a whole lot of technology because they get less technology by that time, right? Makes sense. Those books are very science fiction-y, so just know that going into them. There's cyborg mechs, there's fleet battles, there's AI ships, there's lasers and all kinds of stuff going on in Butlerian Jihad, like almost like 40K Warhammer-y kind of stuff going on in the Butlerian Jihad books. That's why I like them. But so there's all kinds of stuff going on. Plus it's Dune, so you're on Dune a lot. You're gonna learn about the shields, like alternating shield resonance. You learn like they go into like all this stuff about the shield technology and the Holtzman, and you Holtzman's in the book. You know, he's in the book. The guy who made the tech, a lot of it. He doesn't explain the sheen on the dust falling over the other particle of dust. Yeah, you're talking about. Yeah, he doesn't do all he doesn't romanticize a lot of it. Like Frank Herbert had that awesome romanticizing of the almost like a, not Shakespearean, but you know what I mean. I'm not very good at. I'm not like a freaking book expert, but he has that very good way of writing. That's very, you know, medievally mysterious, romantic kind of. And then Brian Herbert is just like, boom, ship battle, and Cymex coming in, poof, beasts, robots crushing cities, and flamethrowers melting people down. I loved it. So I like that stuff too, though. It's like 40K. And that's probably why a lot of Dune fans, like true, only Dune, not true, but Dune, like purists of Frank Herbert hate him. It's very actiony. A lot more action in those books. I didn't buy anything Dune Black Friday because I already have I have too much. Dude, I got all these. You guys see my videos about the Dune cards, the Topps cards, and then so I've spent too much money on Dune stuff, man. I got like 2 walls of it in here. No, I didn't buy nothing for Dune Black Friday. I don't know what else I can buy. I got all the figures. I got the board games. I got the best Dune stuff. I got the worm bucket. I got a Chris knife. I got dang Dune cards. I got the Topps cards, which you can't barely get. I did the giveaway. Were any of you guys here for my giveaway? I need to do another giveaway. I'll probably do another giveaway of another card. Yeah. Well, episode. Well, okay, yeah. Thomas Anomalous. Yeah, I saw that trailer. He's basically looks like he's gonna fry the court. HBO's Wilson. I think this show had cuts, man. I didn't get the skateboard, Kato, because my wife's gonna see it if I order. I have to figure out a way to order it in secret. I want that freaking skateboard that we talked about. You showed me. It's awesome. I want to put it on the wall. I wonder if there's Black Friday sales for that thing. It's on eBay already. Where's the website? Right here, Bear Walker. No, I don't think there's any sales. There's no sales on it right now. Frying the whole court will have to explain something about where his power comes from. Well, yeah, I think... It's a kind of a good mystery because I really don't know what's going to happen. I have like 3 theories. On what his thing is, his deal is. Like my 3 theories is that. So the first one is he got exposed to water of life, got some powers, all that jazz, in the worm. But then the worm could still crush you and kill you physically. So that's kind of a weird one. The second is that he's a Ixian Gola of Desmond. They put nanotech in him and he can control and talk to and all this stuff. And he doesn't really know. He does know, but he doesn't know who he is. Then my third one is that he's Vorian Atreides, come back, got a taste of water of life or whatever, and then he's here to mess with the freaking... But it's not really like Vorian's character to come back getting vengeance like this. That's the one thing that I'm like... It's not really him to come back and it wouldn't be an honorable thing for him to come back and do this. In his eyes, he's an honorable kind of guy. So yeah, that's the thing that kind of throws me off. See, that's a good one. So I think my second theory might be what happens. He's a Gola or Ixian tech kind of thing, nanotech, something going on there. Yeah. Everything he thinks he's done is being fed to him from the eyeball, and the eyeball is controlling somehow something that microwaves the target. Yeah, Lee, I figured this show will give the Imperial motivation to do. So I think also we've seen in some trailer, but I think Desmond's going to be the creator of the starter car. That's what I think. Dude, I got 10 people watching here, guys. Man, I appreciate this. Going back to that later comment about the trying to join people's streams, I went on one stream. It was science fiction guys. I think it was pretty fun. I've only been on that one. And then, but as far as getting on those big people streams, I don't even know how you would even do that. And then I like all those people, so it wouldn't be like it'd be a confrontational thing at all. Quinn is what got me. Quinn's ideas is what got me liking Dune again. Really, I was watching his stuff even before Dune Part 1 came out, I believe. He's been around a while. Quinn's been around for quite a while, as far as I'm tracking. And then Nerd Cookies too. And she goes on some of the streamers I like too. She goes on their shows. So Danica, I've seen her stuff. I didn't go watch her channel. I think I'm subbed to it already, actually. I'm pretty sure I'm subbed to Danica. Danica. It's like giving me Danica Patrick. Is that her? Is it Comic Book Girl? Is that who that is? No. That's her, Comic Book Girl. Is that who it is? Is that the girl, lady with the red hair? Yeah, that's her, the Comic Book Girl, right? That's her. It's Comic Book Girl 19. Is that her? Yeah, she was on the Friday Night Tights too. Oh, I'm not following her. Yeah, I've seen her videos. Why am I... Oh, I'm not following her on this channel. I'm following her on my other YouTube channel. That's what it is. Because I've seen her videos, yeah. I've seen all her videos about the Dune stuff, Dune Club, this, that. Yeah. And she was on... she went on Friday Night Tights with the Nerderotic guy, too. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at her videos tonight. I don't watch a lot of her. See, they do these guys are so talented. These other streamers, I don't have an ounce of the talent these folks have with making videos and live streams. And they can do stuff on all the franchises. My channel, I'm just doing Dune only. I can only focus on one thing too, because I'm not good like these guys. Some of these folks, man, they know everything about all of these franchises. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I know a lot about Star Wars, Star Trek, and Dune, and probably Dune's my most... 40K, I'm very knowledgeable on 40K. 40K, Star Trek. I do BattleTech. Dune, I'm pretty semi proficient on. Probably like Dune the most out of all of them right now. Yeah, I kind of dropped 40K. This is too freaking expensive, guys. The 40K ain't cheap. That's one of the things I got out of it. My wife is getting on me. Every time you buy a box set and dropping like $300, you're just like, holy shit. Yeah, so I had to kind of get out of the 40K racket. I still like the models. I got a bunch of them I painted, but yeah, they're just too expensive to keep buying them. Yeah, I watch Film Thread too. What's his face? Film Thread. He didn't like the show. He had a stroke. What's his name? The main guy. What can I think of his name right now? Buy a 3D printer, you'll spend less. Yeah, I already have a 3D printer. Dude, I got a freaking... I got like the Max Pro Plus whatever freaking Anycubic, the big one. The problem I have is this show doesn't get a lot of views, man. I might not get another show. They gave freaking crappy stuff more seasons. Like, this show's better than anything that they put out. Like, dude, that Halo show was god awful. This is better than that. And then, this is better than most of the new Star Trek. This is definitely better than Star Wars, the new stuff that's out. This is better than Marvel shows. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. But then again, I'm the target audience for this show. Guys who like the Brian Herbert books. That's the problem. How many people are like that? I admit it. I'm probably a very niche group of people that love these books. It's a gamble, man, because that's how many people love the Brian Herbert books. It can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. No, Neurotic. He hasn't read the Dune stuff. That's why they don't talk about the show very much. I just don't think they're interested in it. I love those guys, though. All the Geeks and Gamers guys are funny. They troll everybody. They just troll everybody. All they do is troll it. Oh, Chris Gore, yeah. I like Chris Gore. I watch his show all the time. And his buddy. Chris Gore did not like this show. I mean, he's like a Hollywood insider. He gets like early screeners and knows Hollywood producers and actors and all kinds of stuff. I don't know dick. I don't know anybody famous. I don't have any great insight. I'm just Joe Schmo that likes the books and likes Dune. And I love the Dune movies, even though they butchered Chani in the movie, but Dune Part 2, but... Well, with Dune Part 3 still coming out, so I hope there's room for at least one more show. Dune's hard to do, because there's generally not a lot of action in Dune. That's the thing people need to understand. The books, the prequel books had action, but the Frank Herbert stuff's all fantastical kind of stuff. It's not like all the action they added into like the Battle of Arrakis in Dune Part 1, the movie. That doesn't even, you don't see any of that in the book. It just jumps from like one scene to boom, the Baron took over and they got freaking Duke Leto like poisoned and drugged. And they're all drugged and getting put in the ornithopter and all that. And it's like, there's none of that battle scene. That's all added. And I think they need to do that here in this show to get people in. They should have added more kind of some action in here somehow. And I think they're going too booky, which I like, but other people aren't going to like it. So that's going to be, it's going to hurt the show, man. They're not going, they're going to have to put a little more action in here somehow. Maybe episode 4, 5, and 6 have more Maybe there's gonna be a battle, a confrontation, civil war type thing. I'll tell you what. So far, my scores for this show are not gonna go over an 8, unless we see Spacing Guild, Guild Navigator, a fleet. I've talked about this on my other episodes. If we get a fleet battle, an orbital fleet battle, we see Spacing Guild, and Voron Atreides actually shows up or something like that. Oh, dude, you gave me a super chat? That's my first super chat ever in my life. Dude, thanks, man. Holy crap. I'm gonna remember that. My first super chat, dude. You didn't have to do that, man. Do you appreciate your time? You appreciate my time. I hope this achieves your great... Yeah, man. Dude, I am trying to get there. Like, honestly, if I could just do this full time and quit working for what I do, yeah, I'd do it. It'd be awesome. Wow, dude. Man, I don't even know how to, like, pull that up. I don't even know how to do all those things those guys do on Streamlabs. They pull the super chats up on the screen and all that stuff. I don't know how to do any of that. So I would put your thing up there. How do I... Maybe I can. How do I show it? I'm sorry, dude. I don't know how to show that on the screen. I'm going to figure it out, though, for my next stream. But, man, thank you. Kato, $20. $20. 20 big smack. We'll do like all the other streamers do. $20 from Kato. Appreciate your time. Here, we'll do this at least, though. Yeah, we got a super chat. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, 10 million subscribers. Shoot, you'll never get 10 million with this channel. Even those big guys don't even have... I'm just be happy to get like 100K, monetize, and just kind of have fun with it. I'm not even fully monetized here on this channel yet. So... I don't have the watched hours yet. Yeah, so I am going to end up calling it an evening though, because I gotta go to work. But in the morning, yeah, Duncan Idaho becomes the goal of hate. Yeah, in Messiah. See, that's gonna be interesting because that'll get people back in the theaters. They do that in the trailer. They show him show up, and people are like, "What?" And if they give him like the silver eyes, you know, like from Messiah, people are gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" That'd be kind of funny. Man, Kato, thanks for that dang super chat, dude. That's awesome. Duncan Idaho becomes a Gola. Yep, you should screenshot it. Yeah, I should screenshot that. How do I screenshot that right now? I got my little snipping tool. And I'll remember Kato forever as my very first super chat. Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Big night, dude. Big night. Yeah, I did my live stream last night, and I really didn't have a whole lot of viewers. I get much more viewers on Sunday night. So after the show, man, I'm gonna be sad when Dune Prophecy ends. I won't have these shows, but the game's coming out very soon. So when Dune Awakening comes out, I'll be playing that on here all the time, guys. Yeah, but when you monetize, you'll have more careful to get hit with copyright. Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty good about it. The music, like the song I'm playing, I created that AI song. It's funny, I use AI and I do Dune stuff. And then, yeah, I tend to not show video unless I have to. But yeah, usually you probably won't get hit up for just showing screenshots. When you start playing video and audio is when you get hit up for things. So, I don't know if you can get in trouble for showing screenshots like that from the show, but I don't think so. People do those reaction videos all the time. They show the whole damn movie. How do they get away with it? Yeah. All I remember of how much I understood when I read it was that he was something special. Thomas, I still don't know how it actually fits in with. I'm excited to see it on screen. Oh, you're talking about with hate. Lee, they gift hate. I mean, to Paul as a gift, which is supposed to kill him in the yeah. So, oh, you guys are talking about Messiah. Yeah. So the Spacing Guild and the Ixians and all that, they're all, and then the mother Gohaim and freaking all of them are plotting against Paul in that book to assassinate him. And then Hate's in there to mess with, basically they put Hate in there with sub-programming to basically murder Paul, but then he gets his memories back and he doesn't do it. And then it's also there to mess with Paul at the same time. Paul's losing his premonition a little bit. His visions are getting a little bit weak, right, in that book. And then his sister Alia she's flying around with Hate, investigating the murders and things. And because Saitel, the transvestite thing, hermaphrodite, I should say, it's a hermaphrodite shapeshifter assassin is going around trying to get into. And then there's Fremen. There's all kinds of crap going on in that book. They're trying to trick him. And Chani, and Erelon's poisoning Chani with this, like, basically this contraceptive, but then she does get pregnant, but it messes her up for childbirth and all kinds of crap. So she is almost gonna get murdered too. Yeah, Messiah's wild, dude. It's not as good as Dune, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, so I looked into it. The Sardaukar take his body after that Arrakis and they took Duncan Idaho's body and immediately put it on ice and all that and sent it to him. I think they sold it or something. I can't remember what they did. Yeah, when Momoa's back. I thought he died. Well, I don't think little girls are the target audience of Dune, but so he's a man. He's a clone. They're clones with, like, genetic memories, but they don't have their real memories. So the similar to, like, with how they can unlock genetic memory. So theoretically, he would have all his memory. He could have all his memories from the point he died. And then it ends up coming out, though. He comes back. Gola is just a fancy word of saying higher quality clone. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I think is just a better clone. I think the Benti traveled with the Sardaukar and connected his body from the... Yeah, I can't remember if it was... I don't remember if the Bene Gesserit were there, but it was the Benti. Yeah, oh yeah, the Benti, yep. Yeah, Sardaukar, yep, collected. I don't remember the exact details of that, but I just know that the Sardaukar were involved with taking his body. I should go reread Messiah. It's been a while. I read it like 6 months ago. And it's not my favorite, really, honestly. But maybe I'll go listen to it right now when I get out, because I'm about to close the stream down, guys. I got to go to bed. And so, any final questions, thoughts, anything else about this episode, guys? We're going to end up closing this up. We got a super chat, awesome super chat from Kato. Awesome, my first one ever. I don't even know how. I got to set my stuff up, how to even do any of that stuff. So, yeah, dude, awesome. Are the Ben T Machine related, or is that the other weirdos? Well, they're the Beneflaxu with how I can't pronounce their shit, dude. Yeah, so they're very like they're actually breaking the rules, but they make it look like they're toting the line on cyborgism, but they really kind of are breaking the rules using like tech. But it's like there's no like direct AI, but it's like it pretty much is. It's hard to say. Yeah. So she's gonna be like a mini like super hybrid super witch or something when she comes out of there. Oh, maybe that's what they're gonna use to defeat. They're gonna use her to defeat Desmond at the end of the season, probably or something. She comes out of there and is powerful. Maybe Dune 3 starts with that. Yeah, so they use. So, Von Max, is funny you bring that up. Have you ever read Paul of Dune? So it's a Brian Herbert book, but it's a direct sequel to Dune. And it's basically the assault on like Haitane and all these planets and stuff. They're like assaulting with like Stilgar and frickin' not Duncan, but Gurney and all them. Gurney has to execute some Fremen because they're just massacring civilians and stuff. It makes like a Gurney has to make an example of one of them because they're not listening to him. They're just murdering little kids and everything in the streets. They're Fremen. They're killing everybody in these like cities they take over. It's pretty brutal, but they're freaking good. See, if they really want to get the point across of like Paul's bad or whatever, like they want to make him look bad, and the filmmakers and all this kind of thing, they should do that, right? So basically, Fremen is murdering into kids and stuff. Like, hey, this isn't what we wanted. So they might do that. Yeah, man. So Dune Prophecy, episode 3, 7.5, great lore. Wasn't quite as exciting as episode 2, but it had a lot of the book lore in it, so that's good. Book stuff in there. And then episode 2, I'm getting that at 8. 1 was a 6 because it just was very weird pacing and weird editing on part 1. And that I'll go back and rewatch it. Even the music sounded not as good, but the only way I'll give this show an episode a 9 or a 10 is if we get a orbital fleet battle, some sort of battle. Vorian Atreides shows up, Space Needle Navigator, some stuff like that, and then I'll be happier with the show. But so far we haven't seen any of that stuff, so they've just been mentioning Vorian over and over again. But yeah. Well, on the Chani note, Paul tells Lady Jessica that she will come around. Yeah, well, she in the movie. In the movie, he does say that, doesn't he? Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But there's something in that movie I hope they don't do in Dune 3. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that on a different. We'll do that next Saturday. So tune in Saturdays. Gotta do a regular Dune live stream, not just for Dune Prophecy, but do the Saturday regular live stream. You guys missed it last night, but yeah. Yeah, navigators are very. There's actually not that much to the navigators. They're just very like cryptic and like, oh, spice much flow. I want to keep exploring the galaxy, and they're just like very like that, right? All they care about is spice for their own, exploration of, essence and galaxy, whatever they do, however they travel. But and Norma Senva, she's still around, I guess. So she's gonna pop into the throne room in her canister, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, guys. I got to go to bed. I can't be staying up all night like last time, but I will. Maybe keep an eye out on. Make sure you guys go on my Twitter. Go on my links here and follow all my stuff because I put messages out, but mainly on YouTube. But I might integrate a Wednesday night stream. So I'm going to look at doing a Wednesday night kind of Dune game stream. So a Dune game of my choice, whatever. I'll play that on Wednesday nights. I might do that for like an hour or two or something. Same kind of thing, starting at like 9 or whatever. But we'll see how it goes. If I get time to do that. But until then, everyone, thank you for the awesome super chat. Everybody, thank you for the support. All my Dune stuff is flying around in my brain. I might not get it all correct all the time, but I'm trying to do it for the love of it, not trying to hate on nothing. Unless something's really out there, really blatantly bad, we'll talk about it. But overall, the show, it's following the book. So people are trying to say it's real wokey. I don't think so. It's following. I mean, I guess maybe in the casting and stuff, but it's the Bene Gesserit. It's always been women, and that's the lore of Dune. So, you know, the movies are almost kind of more wokey than this show, if you really want to think about it. Look what they did to Chani, Dune Part 1. They totally gender swapped Dr. Kynes. This is actually kind of following the books more. So, very weird, right? That this show is actually closer to the books. So, but that's just my perspective, guys. Just my perspective. So, if we see something blatantly, like, you know, we messed up in here, we'll talk about it. You know, you never know. It is Hollywood, so they could throw something in here. But I want to see how people are going to react to Dune Messiah when Seitel shows up on screen. Because that's straight from Frank Herbert. And that's like modern day wokeyist, right? Because that's the hermaphrodite dude. Shapeshifter, can be a man or a chick. You know what I'm saying? And that's Frank Herbert. So what are people going to say about that? I don't know. Anyways, we'll see when it happens. I really just want to like this stuff, guys. That's all it is. I really just want to like it. Hopefully it doesn't end up being crappy at the end of the day. So far, we're 3 episodes in, and it's good. So I haven't seen any. I'm not worried about this show at this point. So I'm liking it. It's good news. Close to the books. Close to the Brian Herbert book. So very close. Very, very close. So until then, guys, thank you for listening to me rant. And I will see you guys next time.
Cutting through the sky. Hard climbs, blood and spice to lie. What is worth more than gold? Ancient secrets still untold. Shiny whispers, dreams to thee. Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free. In the shadows, destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find. In the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the queens at Hagaran. Rising from the dust and bow. Dreams to thee, Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free. In the shadows, destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find.